Welcome to this pick a card reading and to my channel. I have 3 piles here for you today, 1, 2, or 3. So you can go ahead and choose based on the images or the symbols before you, and there will be timestamps down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in your reading. So this is your pile if you chose the first image that you see before you. You chose this kind of tree talisman. I only noticed today that it has the sun and a moon here. And before I even get into your pile, I sat here for just a few seconds asking to be tapped into your energy. And the first thing that came up was actually that there are old fears surfacing. I had the feeling of a fear that I specifically remember from at least 2 years ago. But what I'm getting is it didn't feel like something recent for you, or it might be recent with something connected to the far past. I did get it originally, I was thinking about yin and yang when I looked at the sun and moon, but after I sat into your energy, I had the feeling of mother and father here. I had the feeling of some kind of familial wound. Um, and it's interesting because I'm not going to show this card too much, but the one below this, it says detoxification, and the one on top says dreams coming true. And it's interesting, I'm just realizing there's a what looks to be maybe a mother and her child. So this could be something about a mother-daughter relationship for some of you. This could be about same-sex relationships within the family, or rather connections within the family. But since I said that, it could also have to do with same-sex relationships. There could be something about acceptance here, acceptance of there. I'm getting the message that something needs to be released, something like an old fear that is holding you back from moving forward with your dreams, some kind of dream, whatever it is that when I say dreams coming true, whatever it is that comes up for you, it wants to come through into manifestation. I heard manifest world. So there's something in the ether, something that you've been wishing for. But in order for it to come through, in order to manifest in physical reality, the energy that allows it to flow, it has a blockage, and that blockage lies within an old fear that is related to a familial wound. And for some of you, this could directly be like a mother-daughter, father-son relationship, or in whatever way you identify a relationship to the mother or father. So let's look at some tarot and see what this message is about for you. Spirit, can you please get us some more details about this message for pile 1? Thank you. Oh, wow, look at that. Here's the family unit, and it came out in reverse. That's so interesting. I'm gonna put this all the way aside actually, so that we have space. Exactly. So there needs to be something released from the way that you were raised. Some kind of project or something you're trying to materialize that is very new, something that is very either much in the planning stage, or maybe you just gotten some kind of like small thing together in order to bring it into physical reality, in order for it to be tangible. This new start is going to bring a lot of happiness, but something again needs to be released, something needs to be cleansed from your energy regarding a old familial wound. So that's really great confirmation. Why don't we look at this familial wound? Why don't we look at this block specifically so that we can get some more accurate and detailed information about that so that you can move forward with this beautiful manifestation of yours. Oh, thank you. That's really fast. Yeah. That's funny. I was looking at this energy and at the end and thinking how nice and cleansing and freeing it looks. Even with the, I think it's a white dove on this, on the Ace of Cups. It just makes me think of a lot of peace and harmony. And this card came out just confirming that there's going to be a lot of joy. I think there's a lot of encouragement here to work on this, because maybe for some of you, you've been working on a lot of these things, and this might just be the last message you want. Okay, I had a little interruption and it gave me an extra message for you, Pile 1, that this next chapter, when it comes to whatever it is you're trying to bring in, that you are already attracting, it is a really joyous chapter. There is a lot of feelings of togetherness, whether it is within, you know, some kind of community or friend group, or maybe even just kind of that interplay between you and your guides, you and your soul, you and spirit, that connection just bringing you a lot of fulfillment, a lot of joy. Really, I'm hearing really fulfilled. There's something about fulfilling all your needs. So it's about, you know, that may look different for each of you, but there's this feeling like you have the feeling of having what you need, the feeling of having enough. And when you have that, obviously you're also attracting the results of that in the physical reality. But there is a kind of bring you down to earth message here where it's not going to happen right away. Like there needs to be kind of an understanding that there is a bit of shadow work here to do. There are these wounds to release, and there is a gap. Okay, so I think that Spirit is bringing this up because maybe some of you, I don't know, maybe you have some kind of difficulties in the past with having been told that something is coming in and then it didn't come in at the time that you expected, so maybe you gave up on trying. But some manifestations, as you know, take a lot of time because we are aligning with an energy that already exists, but it needs us to change fundamentally as a person sometimes. And I think that this is something quite big because obviously here we have this 10 of Cups and Ace of Cups, the end and the beginning. And here you have in the middle of that, there's celebration, but in the past, there was definitely grief. At the bottom of the deck, you have 5 of Cups and you have the High Priestess. So there is this grief is still sitting in what looks to be, you know, the subconscious. There could also be certain secrets here that bring a feeling of shame. There could be feelings that are perhaps unknown to you. But let's look at that real quick so that you can get started on this and get started moving forward with your manifestation, because this is really beautiful energy, and Spirit really wanted to encourage you to go toward this because this is something that is going to bring true fulfillment for you. So let's look at what this wound is, and then let's maybe look at what the manifestation itself is. So let's get 2 cards, please. Thank you. So what is this blockage pertaining to specifically? Can you give us any specific information? Thank you. 2 cards. And then what is this joyous kind of manifestation? Like, what is something you can tell us about it that can help to motivate Pile 1 to do the kind of more difficult shadow work and also to have faith while they are in the process of aligning with this, as it might not come as quickly as they had hoped or expected? What can you tell them that can help give them a lot of faith and motivation that this process is worth the trouble? Wow, beautiful. This flipped right up. So Spirit really wants to talk about this first. Remember, I really want to come back to what I said about communing with your own soul. Um, and I'm just gonna maybe, how do I cover you up? Like, let's do a matchbox. So the Lover's card is a lot about being your true self. It's about being in connection with, I'm getting the image from a different deck of the Lover's card where there's a bunch of different types of couples that are dancing together, and there are also same-sex couples in that. So for some of you, that message about same-sex relationships, maybe there's something having to do with being accepted within the family for your sexual orientation. There could be gender roles, it could be gender identity that are at play here that have to do with this trauma. I feel like you need to kind of flip back through the book of your family to kind of identify what exactly it is. This is the image that I am talking about. You can see in the back there's two men dancing together as well as here. And then there's a man and a woman, or what look to be, masculine, feminine couple and masculine couples together. I feel like you get exhausted when you think about this, and it's a burden. And I just saw 555 on the timer, and that's about being lifted out of burdens. That's being lifted out of conflict, because 5 times 3 is 15, which makes 6, and 6 is the sixth sphere of the miraculous on the tree of life. And this is number 6, isn't it? If I'm not totally bonkers. I'm looking at it right now, and the Lovers, I can't remember from like tarot memory if the Lovers is always 6, and I'm having trouble with, I sometimes have trouble with Roman numerals, but that's definitely 5 and 1. That's 6. So yeah, that's extra confirmation for you. You are going to be lifted out of this conflict, this exhausting conflict of, dealing with it, whether it's in your mind or if it's something you still deal with in the physical. Let's look at what it is a little bit. Wow. Okay. Remember how I said mother-daughter relationship? For those of you who that pertains to, even if it's not mother-daughter, it could, for a lot of you, this is a relationship with the mother because the Empress represents the mother. So that's extra confirmation for a lot of people, I'm feeling. And the High Priestess here. This is very clear. This is very obvious. I think that's why this is not an overnight kind of thing, because this is something that is hidden from you, something that I'm getting goosebumps all down my legs. This is something that's definitely hidden and could be quite difficult because it is hidden from you. And a lot of times when we have certain aspects of the past that have been traumatic hidden from us, they are hidden to protect us by our own, neurological processes that our brain basically makes that decision. I'm not licensed in any way to be able to discuss that in a real medical or scientific sense, but I do just have years and years and years and years of researching these things under my belt. And that's why I think it's also like you don't want to rush that process. And if what you are manifesting requires having healed a lot of past trauma, then this process is definitely something you want to take with care. You want to go with care. You want to bring yourself the care that you need and deserve. I want to get a closing message for you because it feels a little heavy to leave you with this, but I also really want to just manage your expectations, because I know a lot of times, even from personal experience, that certain tarot messages kind of aim to uplift, 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 and that's great. But sometimes it can get a little exhausting to kind of hear that over and over again, and that everything ever wanted is going to come to you tomorrow, when that's just, not, we're not always at that place. And that's okay, because we can get there. We can get to a place where manifestations are coming to us much more quickly, but we need to first align with that energetic flow. And if there are certain things that are holding us back, and that's okay. Page of Wands is saying, I'm specifically getting like the ways that in which you see yourself, the ways that you understand who you are, the image you have of yourself, and the kind of thoughts that you listen to about yourself. Those are needing cleansing. Those are needing healing. Yeah, I asked for confirmation, and this is what I got. I asked for confirmation about whether that's accurate, if that's correct, and I got, yeah. There's the devil, does want to bind us, but it's a mechanism that exists within the self, and it's what are the things that keep you down? What are the things that keep you feeling like you constantly have to defend yourself instead of just being able to walk on a peaceful path that is easy, and at least easier than what you've been dealing with? So yeah, there's definitely going to have to be some self-searching, self-reflection, but what is promised here is that if this, either your relationship with your mother, or your own relationship to yourself as a parent, kind of your relationship to the role of being a parent or a partner, for some of you even, it's not exclusively for those of you that this has to do with a mother, but the Empress, the feminine, Venusian, Venus, we have Taurus here. We have these roses. We have the rose makes me think of the budding feminine. It makes me think of puberty and growing up and being really delicate and innocent and needing support, and not, there's this feeling of not having it. I'm seeing with like bleeding, and I'm seeing things that are really uncomfortable and that maybe you were shamed for or felt shameful about, that you just shouldn't have. The high priestess here is coming through, like it herself. Her archetype comes from the tarot to she wants to empower you, and she's encouraging this process, even if it takes a long time, and not to speed through it, because it is about that empowerment. It is about building a certain groundwork and base that you did not get to build from the beginning, that was needed to support you. So when you get through this, when you undo all these layers, right? You're gonna be able to turn this around. There's going to be endings can be seen as difficult and negative, but there's something about the fact that when you go through all this, there's going to be an ending that you dreaded, that will actually become something that you were really glad happened, that you're going to be grateful for. And that can be really difficult to see right now, but hindsight is 2020, right? So hopefully this will help to serve as a confirmation later down the line. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, Paul, and I'm sending you lots of love and best wishes, and just good luck with your path. And I'll see you again. Bye. Hi, Paltooth. So you chose these images and this protection symbol. I believe it's the hand of Hamza, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but I do know it's a symbol of protection. I believe it is an Egyptian symbol, if I'm not wrong. And if I'm totally off base, I'm so sorry. There's something really interesting where when I tapped into your energy, I've never seen this before, but I saw a pregnant woman in this image here, and this card says higher consciousness, and this card says new place. So for some of you, you're moving into a new phase of life where you're transforming as a person forever. And there is a message that there is protection while you're, oh, I just realized butterflies are transformation. So definitely there's some kind of metamorphosis happening to some of you. Maybe it's physical with your body. Maybe you're going through some kind of change in terms of moving to a new place. It could be a different home, a different country. It could be a new position at work. There's definitely something transformative that is taking place. And since this may not be literal for everybody, some of you may be birthing a new project, a new idea. Others of you are, birthing together something with somebody else. Some of you are becoming new mothers. Congratulations. But whatever this is, the fact that childbirth, pregnancy itself, it came to my third eye and came as an example. There's something about, labor pain. Something is difficult when it comes to bringing this to life. And that's not to say that it's going to be more difficult than you expected, but there is an acknowledgement of the fact that this doesn't just come easily. And there is a reassurance specifically for all of you that you have protection on this path. You have protection through this kind of, I heard, trial ordeal. So let's get some messages from the tarot for pile number 2, please. For pile 2, can you please, Spirit, give us closer information, bring divine clarity regarding pile number 2's message? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sipping. Pile number 2. Okay, interesting. Some of you are definitely coming from pile 1 because these cards were maybe 3 out of 7 that I had possibly out on the whole out of the whole deck. And obviously you're seeing me shuffle live, so that was not planned. But if you're here from pile number 1, this is your confirmation. Woo, okay. So some of you, for some of you, what we talked about in pile 1 real quick, because I know only a handful of you may be from pile 1, but I will just say that for those of you that are here from pile 1, becoming a parent or starting a family or feeling comfortable with becoming a parent could be some of the things that you are currently facing that are difficult and require some shadow work. Even if you're not here, oh my God, these are all the cards. I'm missing like 2 cards from pile 1. If you came from pile 1, this is definitely having to do with parenthood. I did mention in pile 1 also, even if you didn't come from pile 1, you need to go and watch pile 1 because these are the exact cards are flipping out and I'm flipping out. Anyways, tarot always, I've read tarot for years and I still get creeped out by how it works. But definitely, even if you didn't watch pile 1 and you know, even if you don't want to, even if you don't feel drawn to it, that's fine. Follow your intuition. But the same message definitely applies that there is something about parenthood or a parent that you're dealing with when it comes to certain heavier emotions, maybe certain subconscious things that are going on. But again, there could be certain secrets and things hidden from you, certain emotions hidden from you regarding this. I'm just going to take it that those of you who aren't from pile one are still receiving this message anyways, because this feels like a continuation no matter what. But you are certainly protected on this path. You are being encouraged to go through this transformation, whatever it is that you are facing, whatever it is that you're bringing in. I did see the Ace of Cups in pile number one. So for some of you, the Ace of Cups can serve as a pregnancy card. For some of you, there definitely is an encouragement if you want to start a family to move toward that path, even if you feel scared or hesitant about becoming a parent because of maybe something having to do with a relationship with your own parents while you were growing up. There is an encouragement to face certain fears, and for some of you, this will look like therapy. For some of you, there will be somebody who you share your secrets with. For some of you, you might be in therapy. You might have experienced transference. I'm getting really randomly that you might have experienced transference with your therapist, which is a process where you kind of, the therapist may take on the role of a parent, for example, somebody that you dealt with growing up. I don't remember exactly how the process is defined, but I know that's an example that you may have kind of this projection of the identity of a parent onto the therapist, and you may kind of experience the dynamic within the therapy itself. It's kind of, I don't know, some of you might be going through some I don't know, almost like Alice in Wonderland type of stuff. Like some of it feels a little bit whack. Not, I don't know. I can't. What is the word that I'm thinking of? Like it just kind of feels like something is flipped, could flip your world upside down a little bit. Let's see. Yeah. That feels like confirmation. I just said something is either feeling like it's flipping your world upside down, or it could flip your world upside down. And the world card came out. So that's really strong confirmation, because this stuff is just kind of coming to my mind. I'm not really sure where it's coming from. But you might experience some strange things throughout this process. Like what I was talking about, transference. It feels a little bit weird. I just heard Dorian Gray. That might be a reference for some of you, but yeah, here's the Knight of Pentacles. It comes with it's some kind of physical, some kind of physical manifestation of assistance is coming to you. And this could be, you know, a new therapist, it could be a new project that helps you realize certain things. But there's almost this like psychedelic feeling. There's almost this and I don't know why, but this keeps coming up and it's really persistent. This feeling like, what is that style where everything, is it Max Ernst? There's a certain like artistic style that I can't seem to think of the exact title, exact name of it. I'm sure I'll just add it in the edit, but something seems really otherworldly. Something seems like it doesn't make sense to the logical mind, and there's definitely a strong feeling of the subconscious being involved here. So I know this message felt a little all over the place and abstract, but there was just a lot coming through all at once. And for those of you coming from pile one, this might make a lot more sense than for those of you that haven't. Can we please get any further messages about this transformation? Whoop. Wow, that flipped all the way to the ground. 1 second. Okay, so yeah, this again, some of you could be moving homes. Some of you could be leaving a childhood home. This could have to do with marriage or weddings for some of you. But whatever is happening, you are expanding something and you're building the foundation of something. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, the Hierophant is confirming that message. And the Hierophant, it's interesting because there could be something having to do with marriage, there could be something having to do with partnership, and there could be something to do with your connection with higher source. So, and as well as the law, contracts. I have Taurus energy again. Okay. Any last messages about this that you want pile 2 to know? This feels like I'm not making any sense, but if this is your message, then it should make sense to you. Any last words for pile 2? Okay. I'm almost getting this feeling of let down your guard. Because for the first time ever, I'm seeing this Queen of Swords like she's beckoning someone forward. It feels like you are being asked to let down your guard so that you can be guided and assisted through this, especially in the intermediate period. In the Three of Wands, he's waiting for his ships to come back. So there's kind of a period of waiting here, right? There's a level of expectation in this card. And we talked about that in pile 1 as well, that there is this kind of period that needs to be where I was saying I'm trying to set your expectations so that you know that there is a certain period of time where that you have to go through. And this is beckoning you forward to that period of time of dealing with whatever this is to you, this kind of okay, pile 2, I had an interruption in your reading just like I did with pile 1. So it felt like you are being beckoned to allow this interruption. You are being beckoned to allow, if something feels like it's kind of taking you off course, allow it. Don't be scared and kind of try not to resist it, because as you wait for your ships to come in, this is the work that you're doing in the meantime. The shadow work, the old familial wounds for some of you, for others of you, just the kind of labor pains of going through whatever transformation you're going through. So thank you for being here, pile 2. I wish you all the best with this, and I'll see you again. Bye. Okay, hello, pile 3. This is your pile if you chose this image with this heart. And interesting. Your reading is the only one that I didn't sit with the energy before I started recording, and it just kind of jumped right into it. It's interesting because this card says awakening, and it made me think of when somebody's jolted awake, when somebody just sits right up in bed and jolts awake very quickly. And before I started the reading, when I was picking, Spirit was really adamant about me taking this symbol. I was going to choose a different one, but this one was, oof, I'm getting shivers all down my left leg. There was something specific about it being the heart space. For those of you familiar with chakras, energy centers, this could be the heart chakra representation for you. For others of you, this could be having to do with what you consider the heart space, your feelings, your emotions. But for others of you, this has to do with being open to other people, being open to their presence in your life, as well as having compassion for others, having empathy. It's like something here has jolted you awake, maybe to your own heart. So maybe something opened up your heart. If that's something that you're experiencing, if there's some kind of like sudden heart awakening that you've had, then this is definitely your pile. For some of you, this might be something that's in the near future or even around the corner. Let's get right into your reading, because I'm not getting as many initial messages here. Well, actually, I'm getting a lot of initial messages. I just didn't sit in your energy. For pile number 3, Spirit, please can you give us some information about pile number 3? So we have the World. We have the 3 of Cups. I'll be darned. Out of the whole deck, I keep drawing the exact same cards for every single pile. Should have just done a collective reading, I'm starting to feel. Can you give us a little bit more? Thank you. Again. Wow, you're the only one that got new card. the Hermit. Every other card has come out for the other piles, and that happened in pile 2 for pile 1. So, pile 3. What is this trying to tell you? What is the message that you have for pile 3 about this awakening that they're going through at this time? It's very internal, whatever it is that you're going through, but it is massive because you have an entire chapter. The world represents, the end of the major arcana. So you have an entire chapter that you are closing out here. I heard the end of a saga just now. So there's the end of a saga, that's, I'm hearing like leads and spores across deserts, across landscapes. Much landscape has been, I'm seeing, like kind of like a camera pan view of quickly of going across so many landscapes right now. Just landscapes, landscapes, landscapes. It's like you've crossed so many thresholds. You've walked so far. You've gone through so much. Again, another card from before, but here we finally have new cards. It's not that I'm frustrated. I'm just like, how does that happen? It's not frustration, if that sounded like it. It's more like I don't understand. It's kind of this awe with the tarot. So it's interesting because it's almost like I'm getting this Five of Swords is you looking at your past self. Because when I was thinking of your past, of this as like what you've gone through, my left leg started having shivers all down my leg. And I felt this, like, it's almost outside looking inside, if that makes sense. Like you're observing yourself the way that someone does in meditation when they kind of observe what their brain is thinking, the thoughts that come through. I saw 444 just now as I said that on the timer of the camera. So some of you are either doing this self-observation and others of you are being encouraged to do that, but there's definitely this kind of, I feel from you, like you've gone through so much, the end of a saga, these landscapes. Most of you coming here have just been through a lot, and you're looking at yourself in the sense of there were these battles, and most of them were about finding that calm peace, that feeling of peace, the feeling of rest within the self, of coming to integrate the self and to become in full acceptance of certain aspects that previously kept you tied up. And I'm not saying that this had nothing to do with those outside of you. There could have been a father figure involved for some of you and a mother figure. These cards just flipping out. Again, if you're coming from pile 1 and 2, if you're not, I mean, the piles are definitely related. So if you felt drawn to any of the other piles, pile 1 and 2 are exactly related. Pile 3 is the only one that feels like either a future, this could be a future energy for pile 1 and 2. And for others of you, you might not have been drawn to pile 1 and 2. But if you're coming from pile 1 and 2, this is definitely more, this feels like a more future energy. This feels kind of like some of the things that kept you tied up that maybe you had no idea were there, certain thoughts or views about the self and beliefs about your worth, your value, and who you are in this world that kept you tied up, that kept you, in a sense, blocked from certain goals or kept putting blockages, kept putting obstacles in your path. It feels like this is the group of people, this is that collective that has released the self, actually. If this Page of Cups, interesting, I said Page of Cups. Page of Pentacles here feels like it's you offering yourself that golden ticket to freedom. And there's something about walking away from conflict, and that peace is built within, especially because there's a lot of internal work that was done here. So it's interesting because for some of you, this path has to do with forgiveness, whether it's of the self or of someone else or several people. There's forgiveness for some of you because there's something about making the heart lighter. Because, and I don't think that's for every one of you. I'm going to personally say that after many, 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 many years of spiritual work and trauma recovery and things like this, I do not believe that forgiveness is a path that is for everybody. And I think that's okay, because for some, if you were maybe, for those of you who have dealt with heavy trauma, then I'll just quickly say that if you've dealt with the fawning response, the freeze response, and if that's been kind of your primary reaction to trauma, anger can be a fuel and a sort of self-protection that can keep you from allowing back in those who have hurt you. And it's okay to be angry. It's okay to also, it's not okay obviously to take that anger out on anyone who doesn't deserve it, but it's fuel. It can be fuel. It can be released in productive ways, and it can help inspire you, motivate you, energize you, and keep you safe. And that's okay. It's not always anger. I always thought that anger was something, that you just need to let go of, and otherwise we're going to be so heavy. But I think sometimes, maybe even for a certain period of your life, and I feel like this has to be related to something you're going through, because I just feel like sharing this. It's sometimes you need that to keep you feeling light, because that energy it gives you, it like uplifts you, instead of this thought that immediately having to forgive or having to forgive at all. I'm not saying you never will, but sometimes the expectation that we will, instead of just allowing ourselves not to, it can push us to constantly feel like, well, we're going to have to forgive at some point. And it just kind of keeps pushing it in this process of moving past what you're dealing with, moving past being empowered by allowing yourself to feel the way you feel, and not forcing yourself to be in a different state, not forcing yourself to feel like you owe anything to anybody. Because if anything, if you do owe anything to anyone, it's to yourself. It is to yourself to give yourself the fuel and the energy that you need to move forward. And sometimes that doesn't look very conventional. Sometimes I think there's a really double-edged sword here, because obviously forgiveness, or not obviously, but forgiveness is very much for yourself. Because if you are weighed down by some kind of resentment, then it can hinder you and weigh you down. But sometimes, like I said, I've come personally to find that sometimes anger can be a fuel that we need, and a way to actually keep us safe from people who keep trying to come back, who could potentially reopen wounds that we've had to suture up ourselves. So I hope that is of any use to somebody who's out there listening to that, because it just felt like I went into a different time and space to trudge up certain things that you might need to hear. So let's get a closing message for you. I feel like with the Knight of Pentacles here in reverse, there's been help. There's been some kind of assistance that you've received in carrying some really heavy heavy wounds and heavy burdens. I don't know if this would be a therapist, a friend, a confidant, maybe even a doctor. There's somebody who's physically manifest. It's not a guide or anything like that. It's a person. It's somebody in your physical world who's been helping you with something maybe that you've kept close to your heart, maybe something that you didn't feel safe sharing with others. What about this person? What about, or are you saying that, Spirit, are you saying that there's this person in their life or that somebody's coming into their life? Okay. Yeah. I said, not person, somebody's coming into your life. Interesting. So somebody's coming into your life, and I got the Lover's card for that. Can you clarify? Thank you. Wow. Okay. Ace of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, Page of Swords. Yeah. So I got a confirmation. This is, whoever this is going to help bring you clarity. I'm getting shivers all down my legs. So this feels very fated. Again, the hand of God. Whoever this is, or maybe it's multiple people, but there will definitely be people or a person that's coming into your life that's going to show up, and that's going to be kind of divine, almost like it's going to feel fated, and it's going to be feel divinely, like divine assistance showing up in physical form. And it will look different for many of you, but what is a central theme here is that you're going to get a lot of clarity from either working with this person or being assisted by this person or people. So interesting that the Lover's card was what confirmed that a person is coming into your life to help assist you with these burdens, to help carry this. So you're not going to be alone. And you have gone through what was this saga, right? Something that was very internal, that feels very, ooh, getting shivers again. Something that feels very private to you, something that it feels like you pulled yourself out of it. Like it's almost like you acted as like the parent and the child. Like you parented yourself out of something, you pulled yourself out of something, you offered yourself what you needed. You found that peace within in order to untangle yourself, in order to free yourself. Wow, okay. It did, even this message itself felt like a saga, and it feels like I'm picking up on the energy of I've gone through a lot. It's been a really long journey, but there's kind of this sigh of relief because it will end. And I'm getting more shivers as I'm talking. I don't know, like it's going like up my legs and now all the way to my head. It's interesting that we ended with the Hermit because now as I said that, my head was tingling and the Hermit came up, and it's very much, you have within you that guiding light. You have that inner guide, and that inner guide is with you. You have a very strong connection with it. Your heart space is either, coming online completely, or it's very much just had some kind of big awakening. Whatever phase of this you are in, the heart is where spirit resides. That, you can put your hand to your chest and always ask your heart what it believes, what it thinks, how it wants to guide you. You will find those answers within there, within that heart space. And whoever works from that heart space is working with spirit, is working with their true path, and that aligned flow through which they can follow to their soul's path, to the direction that their soul is guiding them to the reason that it came here in the first place at all. You may, some of you may not be of these beliefs, and that's okay. It's just kind of, no matter who you are, you have gone through so much and you have the answers within, and you know what you're doing, and you can trust yourself. And that's your parting message, Pal 3. Thank you so much for being here. I'm wishing you all the best with what you're with your path, with your journey, and I'll see you again. Bye.